Hello everyone, this is a video showcasing more things to come. I wanted to do a quick video of what I've been working on for the last 2 months or so, and this is probably the best way to describe what's been going on. I've been building computers for some time now, and this is probably something I've done a little bit more over the top than what most people would purchase or what most people would buy, but I wanted to give a good detail on exactly everything that's been going into this system. The name of the system is the GTX480. It's not an official name, but this name is something I've given it. The code name is Black Ion, which is exactly as what it's going to be labeled as, but this is pretty much a dream machine for most people. Again, this is something that the ordinary person wouldn't even begin to fathom on purchasing. But I wanted to go over everything on the machine and just kind of give a good understanding of what you're looking at. First, the machine is fully custom. The wiring is braided. The cooling is custom. This machine is running a Corsair Obsidian 800D case, as you can see. Let me back up a little bit here. And you can see the only thing really that's been added to the front is a NZXT fan controller. You can see the multiple zones, different cooling levels. Yes, the machine is fully packed with fans. It's every fan imaginable is in this thing. Down here we have a Pioneer 24X Serial ATA DVD writer. And of course down here we have our drive bay where all the hard drives. The drives consist of the OS, which is a Crucial Real SSD. It is rated at the new Serial ATA 3 spec, which is 6 gigabits per second. Then next there are two 10,000 RPM 300 gig Velociraptors in a RAID 0. And then at the bottom there's another 1 terabyte SSD Western Digital Black Edition. So everything in this machine is maxed out. All the drives, pretty much what can fit it into this machine is maxed out at this point. If we come around here again, you can see the theme of the color of the theme is basically blue, red, and black. That is the theme that I chose. What we're looking at right now, first off, is the motherboard. It is the Asus Rampage 3 Extreme. It is running the latest BIOS reversion, which is I think it's 10.11 right now. Everything on the motherboard has been left at stock. As far as cooling, I didn't want to disturb the stock cooling. You know, a lot of people like to go with motherboard water blocks, but I didn't want to mess with it. I thought it looked really nice. I like the fact that the LED in the middle glows. I also like the fact that it matches the memory. I don't know, I think it's a really very nice looking motherboard, and I didn't want to disturb it with an aftermarket block. The cooling on the block has actually been pretty well. I haven't had any temperature issues with it at all. I think Asus did a good job. The next thing we're looking at is the memory. It is Corsair Dominator GT. It is running at a maximum speed of 2,000 megahertz. The latency on the memory is 77720. I will be adding another 6 gig kit, which will make it a total of 12. I may have to tweak the bus a little. When you're running at that speed, the Intel X58 chipset doesn't seem to like 12 gigs of memory at that speed. Because as you all know, the i7s have an internal memory controller. So when you do overclock, it also stresses that bus point. Next is the CPU, which is the brain. It's a Intel 980 6-core Extreme, of course. It is running at a maximum speed right now of 4.4 gigahertz. I may be taking it to 4.5. I felt 4.4 provided the most stability. It ran Prime Mark 95 for 15 hours. It also did LIMPAC testing. Everything passed. And once again, I felt that this was the most stable of them all for as far as overclocking. A lot of people, brag about 4.5, 4.8 gigahertz and so forth, but is it really stable? And I wanted something that was stable 24/7. Next we have is 3 EVGA GTX480s. They are vanilla stock clocks, and they are overclocked. They are actually, I did not bother to go with a super clocked because I knew I was going to be overclocking it, and it was just a waste of money. So the video cards are running at 803 megahertz each, and the memory is running at almost 1900. I think right now they're at 1885 right now, and I'm still testing, but I hope to get them to 1900 megahertz on the memory. So we'll see what happens. As far as cooling, there's a single loop for the CPU. It's running an EK water block, as you can see. It's running TLC phaser liquid cooling tubes all the way down. It's running a Danger Dan block. That's also the liquid reservoir is also running TLC phaser liquid cooling. The fans at the top are noise blockers. They're 120 millimeters. It's actual quad radiator TLC phaser liquid cooling all the way at the top here. You actually can get a quad radiator into the Obsidian case without actually having to modify it. There's right now there's 3 fans. I didn't really need a 4th fan. It would have been blocked. So you actually can, if you're all out there who was actually wondering what was going on with a lot of people complaining about not able to get quad radiators, you can put a quad radiator inside without having to put it on the outside. I think putting the radiator outside the case looks really gross, and it just doesn't give the machine a really nice appeal. As you can see, the fans on the back are not noise blockers. They are TX Steam, which is 140 millimeters. There's one in the rear, as you can see. There's one at the bottom here, as you can see. It gives a really nice lighting effect. You can also see the lighting coming off the top here. Next, as we come down, you can see that we have a Sound Blaster X5 Titanium PCI Express sound card. And then all the way here at the bottom, we have the new Corsair AX1200 Gold Certified power supply. It is pretty much giving it everything it's got at this point. Every CPU, every 8-pin and 6-pin is plugged, is actually maxed out. If you can see it or not, but as you can see, everything is plugged in at this point. I think I only have 3 ports left for peripheral devices, so it's running. As you can see, the motherboard here, I've actually got power running to the 2 12-volt ports. Anytime you run 3 video cards on the Rampage 3 Extreme, you definitely want to plug 2 12-volt ports. One here at the bottom right there, and then you can see one all the way up here at the top right there. And I do actually have both 8 pins plugged into the motherboard, so it's actually, I didn't feel like it would be very stable to go with a single pin, especially the fact that the motherboard's maxed out with PCI slots, and also the CPU running at such a speed that it's running at right now. If I come around here, I don't know if you can see this or not, you can actually see down in there at the top part of the radiator. And if we come around here to the back, you can see the fans. This again, everything is, all the slots are used. There's nothing left. And you can see the USB 3.0, Bluetooth, Rogue Report, optical, and so forth. I'm just going to take the side panel off here. As I mentioned, this case is maxed out with fans. There's 3 at the top, 140 in the rear, another 140 at the bottom, and then we have an actual dedicated fan. This fan is actually running directly, blowing cool air right over the pump. The pump is actually in the hard drive bay, as you can see right there, which I thought was a good place to hide the pump to give it a nice clean look. That's actually the stock Corsair fan at the top right there, blowing on the hard drives. The fan right there is one of these Centec fans, but uses the Sony's ball bearing technology. And you can see the bundle of wiring. Once again, all the wiring has been hidden behind. This is pretty much extended from the back of the chassis, going all the way up here to the video cards. And there's a good shot of the reservoir, Danger Dan reservoir. I'll give you a shot with the lights out. You can see everything is it's pretty nice looking. Everything lights up in a really nice blue. It's all colorized. You can see I wanted to make sure all the coloring matched each other. I didn't want a dark blue and a light blue. All the reds match, all the blacks match, and all of the blue match. And then you've got the red accent lighting around the system board. As you can see, all of the looks like a Christmas tree, but it gives off a really nice effect with the black catheter lights at the top right there. So once again, the system is running at 4.4 gigahertz, 6 cores, 3 EVGA GTX480s and a Tri SLI, running at 800 megahertz apiece on a 1200 watt power supply. As we come around here, we have here, this is a Dell 27-inch ultra sharp, running at a maximum resolution of 2,560 pixels, running Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit. As you can see, the speaker system itself is not actually around anymore, but I was actually able to hold on to it. I think it's one of the best speaker systems on the market right now. It's the Calypso Pro Media 5.1 surround. You can actually order it directly from Calypso. I think they're still making it. Came out in 2006. And it actually has a dual firing 8-inch sub, and it's one of the best speaker systems on the market if you can find it. It's not a full digital optical speaker system, but it is analog, but it does give a very nice sound output. If you come over here, you can see G90 Logitech keyboard. I actually do have the LCD right now custom to display GPU temperature, GPU clock frequencies, and also map memory frequencies, but it's kind of blurry because of how small it is. The mouse is a G500 laser running on a SteelSeries glass surface mouse pad, 3M wrist pad. Right now, feature mark, performance benchmark on defaults, I hit 52,000. Windows 7 score is 7.8, and that's due to the SSD. For some reason, the SSD is only pulling a 7.8. Everything else is a 7.9 all the way across the board. As again, you can see the Dell Ultra Sharp. It's probably one of the best monitors on the market right now. If you want to go with a 3D 120 megahertz monitor, this is not for you. To me, those monitors still don't give the clarity of this monitor can give. And it is a full 27 inches, and you do get the widescreen format on this monitor. Alright, once again, thanks for looking. Again, this is project still in the making. There's a couple more things to do. I may do a liquid cooling loop for the video cards with custom blocks for each card with a reservoir base 5.5-inch pump, and also be adding a Blu-ray DVD rewritable drive and maybe a second SSD. Thanks.